And we're back. Thanks for sticking around. Let's see what we're gonna do. Dear Thief, do you have a spawning circumstance you want to jump into, or?
Good question.
Tell your volunteers that you've come across some punk-ass kids.
Tell your volunteers that you found their parents and their hideaway,
Well, I'll
guild house.
I'll ask an annoying question if Trash.
Yeah.
Do we want to hang around? Like, did we come here to like? Do you want to? Are you violent? Like, or like, do we want to hang around here?
So let's have a discussion. The only reason I would like to hang around here is because it's not too far from a Narwhal Horn Wizard's Isle, and we could go and steal a cool book from that wizard again if we choose to. But if we are done with that wizard and their mirrors of nonsense, I suggest that we GTFO, and just...
But there's probably also a local wizard, Josh.
Yeah.
There's probably a weather worker who lives at the cliff at the top of the city or some shit, right? Like,
yeah, that might be fun. Although, if that other wizard certainly had a lot of nefarious things going on, they also seem to be tied into our backstory, so they seem like pretty fun. I don't know. It's up to you. What do you want to do? Do you want to have some action? Do you want to have something where we get to sit around and talk for a bit? I think I found like one thing that's like that in this whole list of spawning circumstances. Lauren, what are you feeling?
Oh, sorry.
Just in general, like what kind of thing do you want to have happen? Do you want to have a romp and stomp adventure where we have a lot of action? Do you want to have more talky stuff? Do you want to have fighty stuff? I guess. What's in your
heart?
Yeah.
I think it might be fun to talk to the local wizard here, or learn, like, if we wanted to, like, even have a go at getting into that tower, learning some stuff about it around town, like maybe seeing if it's worth looking into, or whether it's just worth leaving.
There is no spawning circumstance for footwork. So we're gathering information is a thing that we are assumed to have done between spawning circumstances.
Right.
So we could be headed into a wizard's seclusium, the one local or the one, on an island, or we could be coming to a new city. Your choice. I think I do need corpses.
Corpse.
Yeah, you need a corpse freshly made.
Yeah, but I need a place to put that corpse first, I believe.
That's true. Yes, first you need to acquire real estate.
So what we really need...
Then you can just kill the broker.
Thief, what we really need is a pile of money. Do you have a plan?
Ooh. Sounds like we should maybe rob some nobles, which is my favorite pastime.
That is your favorite pastime. Do you want to rob some nobles, or do you want to rob a thieves guild?
Let's rob the thieves guild. Like, fuck them.
Because we can totally change up our yeah.
Logan is definitely bitter enough, like at the local thieves guild here.
So I think what's gonna happen is, I'm sorry, but this spawning circumstances is we're about to do something really. It's exactly what they were talking about at the start of the session. I think that we find us with a pile of money and we're about to get chased. So like we have already robbed them and things are now going to get bad, right? So tell your volunteers that you have a short time to gather your belongings and depart your residence before the thieves and housebreakers come, and they're bringing, apparently a labor gang with them? What is that? I don't know. Awesome. So in any case, I think that that's the case, is the fact that we've gotten what we need to get, but now we need to get going while the going's good.
You got what you need to get, but now you need to get gone.
Yes, there we go. That's the phrase I was shopping for. So yeah, how does that sound? Does that sound fun, Lauren?
Amazing.
All right. In which case, go. Grab whatever you can, leave whatever you can't.
So I picture, like, did we like break into like some kind of secure locked room, like a vault.
A vault. Yeah.
Nice, like the Thieves Guild vault. Did we dream step to get into it?
Well, I don't have that as a spell.
Oh, that's true.
But I mean, I can turn invisible, which is a thing I could do. And I can also, yeah. So
I can see that montage now of like you turning invisible and like tapping the gun and like the shoulder, and then like they turn around that way, and then like they get socked from the other side, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But right now we have bags full of loot and not a lot of time. So actually, before we ask our volunteers about the details of the circumstance, I would like to ask Lauren a question, which is, if you only have seconds, what do you grab that you always take with you and you find more precious in this room than anything else?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Because I want to know.
Oof, that's a great question. Damn, that's an evergreen question you can bring to any game. That's a really good one.
Judd's like, inspiration
goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely like a kind of small-ish like gold worm statue with like these sort of like probably they're like sort of raw, like sort of pink and blue like gemstones in their eyes kind of thing, and that is definitely like the thing I would love to take. Like if I've got, I don't think it's particularly worth much. Like maybe it's a wooden statue or something like that. Like it's not made of a particularly like precious metal or something, but it's like gotta get that.
You describe it again? I think it's
like a coiled worm statue of like this particular like sort of Thieves Guild House of the North. And actually, yeah, I'll take out the gemstones. I don't think it even has gemstone eyes. I think it's just like this wooden worm statue.
Sick.
Awesome.
Watch out.
Awesome.
Watch out. Watch out.
Yes. What is the bird's name again? It's not Constable.
Like Chamberlain.
Chamberlain. That's right.
Rather, the bird has a name. But
yes. I knew it was a C name that was a title. I just couldn't. I knew it wasn't Commissar. So. So yes.
No, maybe the real name of the bird is Commissar. Like. Anything's possible.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Chamberlain's just like doing a little dance, being like, "Watch out! Watch out!"
So what are housebreakers, volunteers? Tell us about them. And they clearly have a gang with them.
Well, Strush, I'm glad you asked. Good question. Judd, how on out bullshit, do we want to be? Because there's a version of this that's like the thugs who like knock down your door.
That's fine.
Right.
Which is perfectly serviceable, right? That's a perfectly reasonable answer. But do we want it to be something a little bit more cool?
I think.
I feel like if we stole from thieves, having to deal with these thieves, particularly the ones that we stole from, could actually be interesting. Because I know it's tied to Lauren's backstory, but it's of course up to you as volunteers.
Oh, I've got it, Judd. I think I have it.
All right, but I'm gonna veto you if you get too weird, because we were told
this is weird at all. This is totally mundane. I think one of the things that this city is very famous for is its sewer system. I think it has an extensive network of sewers under the city that take advantage of the sloped nature of it, right? Like to let gravity do most of the work. And I think these sewers are not so much used nowadays. I think they're they're largely the remnant of some former culture that valued them. But you know who does really use them and value them? The Thieves Guild. And I think a lot of houses in this city are just like the structural supports that separate them from the sewers, the foundations are like not that solid and not that strong, particularly after all these years. And so I think the housebreakers are like a handful of like big, burly, fuck off, you don't want to get in a fight with them, members of the Thieves Guild with sledgehammers who like smash open the foundations and like cave in the floor, and then like the Thieves Guild just like pours up into the house like a nest of skating. I think that's what housebreakers are.
Nice.
Jad, is that sufficiently mundane for you?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's great. I like it.
All right.
Love it.
Yeah, so that's what a housebreaker is.
Amazing. Cool.
Any more
So,
questions?
yeah, I guess the question that I'll ask, because I know it's terrible, but it'll make this more exciting, is, well, actually, Morgan, do you know about these folks, or are they a surprise? Is the first sign that something's wrong the terrifying crack somewhere on the floor below us?
Oh, interesting. Perhaps like this is a thing Morgan didn't account for.
I would not have accounted for this.
Like this is a very purely northern like a thing that goes on.
Yeah, it feels like your branch of the family is maybe more about like second story work, right? And it's all about like you drop in through the chimney, you climb in through the windows, like
yeah, exactly.
Stab people in their beds while they're sleeping, like that kind of
part
shit.
of like the smart, brave like dichotomy that like my house subscribes to. It's gonna be elegant and like it's more about the aesthetic and like the elegance and like the art of the job than it is about like the efficiency or.
Here, the ideal situation is that they collapse the floor under your bed, and your bed lands in the sewers with like 12 like daggered thieves already surrounding it before you even wake up. Like that's the goal.
That's yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
So if we hear, I assume, dear volunteers, that we hear the terrifying crack from beneath the floorboards. Great. In which case, I give Morgan the panicked look of which way.
Ooh, my immediate gut reaction is to leap towards like some part of the building that has more structural integrity, like the doorway. Because if the floor goes, odds are that at least will be somewhat standing. So I think perhaps the nearest doors or we could just go down. I don't know. What do you say?
Let me try a thing. And if this thing works, maybe you can lead them on a merry chase, and I will help if necessary. Or do you? Okay. I'm better at this than running away, I think. Actually, no. It's no. Definitely better at this than running away. All right. So I think this is the first time I'm using this spell. It's a very dangerous spell, but I feel like this may help. So I pick up whatever the biggest sack of loot that we have captured from these thieves, and I'm going to cast Section 3, Hiding from Someone's Senses, which is, as an active necromancy, I can cause Gurn to envelop me and hide me from senses. So let me make a roll, and depending on the roll, things might go terribly wrong.
Oh boy.
Or as I like to call it, very fun.
This miss is not great.
No, this miss
Excellent.
is very, very terrible. So D6 less than 4. Here we go. Heyo, that's a miss. Awesome. So I'm going to attempt to cast the spell. On a miss, I become insubstantial. Ask your volunteers what happens. Do I sink into the earth, float away into the air? How fast, how far? And I can have Gurn end this effect at any moment whenever I feel safe to do so. So, effectively what this looks like is, I'm pretty sure I'm the only person here that watches JoJo's, but, like, there's a particular death stand that, like, comes out of nowhere and just swallows the bearer, and the bearer, like, vanishes into this, like, non-existence. So I think that it's a lot like that, right? Like, it's Gurn basically just like manifests like, partially, and like I'm gonna try and
he wraps his cloak, around you, and so like to the outside it just looks like two like invisible halves of a cloak like closing in front of you, and then just like, where'd you go?
Yeah, this is not, it's not a great miss, but it's not the worst miss because I can end it at any time. So it's not like I'm gonna fly through the planet or some nonsense.
Depends on how fast.
Yeah, it's
You go very fast before you have time to.
Maybe. Yeah. Let me ask my volunteers. So I'm insubstantial. Do I sink into the earth or float away into the air? How fast and how far?
Ooh, great question.
That's it. I like your stalls. Great question. That's a good one. I've gotta remember that one.
Yeah, I also just want to shout out good game, Vincent. You know.
Well done.
My feeling, Judd, just instinctually, is that down is where the danger is, and so down is a good option.
Yeah, I also think we've got something established down, right? We've got this sewer system, and this legendary thing, and yeah, I think that's more interesting. Yes, I think falling down is interesting.
Yeah, I think. So I think it's you drop a stone through water.
Awesome.
That is very much the visual and the sensation of it.
Yeah.
And so I think the first first you're going through the floor and you when you're in the floor, it's what is going on? You can't see anything, you can't hear anything. The next time you're oh, things are around me is down in the tunnel under the house where there's 20 odd thugs and 3 housebreakers. And I think you have a chance to end it there if you would like.
No,
would you like
I want to drop further into the old city.
Dropping.
Well, it does say, it says here, whenever you feel safe to do so. I'm afraid a room full of 20 toughs I do not feel safe yet. I understand that there might just be a solid ground beneath me, but I think I put 2 and 2 together, and I grew up in a city that was above an acropolis, so I understand very well about cities that are built upon older cities. So,
yeah, Judd, what do you think the next weird sewer chamber down is and looks like?
Yeah. Good question. I think it gets weirder. I think we see the buried tunnel remnants of the old cult that founded this city that worshipped this worm dragon, right?
Chad, I'm so excited to play games with you.
Awesome.
Because let me tell you my secret inspiration. This dragon is based on a real dragon, a historical dragon called Master Storeworm, which I think is absolutely the title of the head of the guild, and also probably the name of the old dragon god.
Oh yeah, Master Storeworm. Holy cow,
Master
there it
Storeworm
is.
is well known for throwing up the Orkney Islands, and the Shetlands. Britain, it's a wild place. But yeah, no, I'm into that, Judd. So a kind of half-buried, rubble-choked tunnel, either leading to or from a weird cult sanctum thing.
Yeah. Whether it's in use, whether the worm is real, whether the worm is down here, whether there's even a cult anymore, that I don't know yet. But yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Awesome. So I think that as I face the ground and I hold my breath and I see another gap, I'm just here. And as Grun dissipates, I'm going to have to unveil my necromantic senses because I don't think that in my list of things that are important in my life, a torch made the cut. So here we go one more time. I'm gonna have to roll my magic. It's bound to work someday. I'm the worst wizard. Here we go.
You are the worst necromancer that I've ever had. The misprivilege of educating.
So in good news, when you unveil your necromantic senses, it always works. But what it does is it's exhausting. So yeah, I unveil, like, in the real world, there doesn't seem to be a lot more than just like a hand gesture. But yeah, like my extra eyes that burn green in the underworld open, and I look around as the dead do, who I'm actively saying do not need light. And I'm gonna, unfortunately, this process exhausts me, so I should not exert myself unless I have to, and maybe not even then. But I'm gonna see if I'm gonna see what I can see, and see if I can see a way out or a path forward. Which I can exert myself mentally, which comes with this if I need to. But feel free to tell me what my necromantic sight shows me if there is anything beyond the obvious. So actually, let me ask you this: what is the chamber that I'm in? Volunteers, please describe.
Judd, I have a thought. I don't know if you have a thought.
Do it. Go for it.
I think you're like at the threshold of a chamber.
Okay, sure.
So you're like in the like rubble choked mouth of a tunnel. And the walls of this tunnel are roughly textured. It looks like a natural tunnel, save for the fact that there is like a scaled pattern worn into the grooves of the stone, as though some great and terrible worm passed through this tunnel. And I think in your like necromantic sight, the walls are still like damp and dripping with water. And then I think ahead of you, this tunnel opens out into a chamber. It is not the biggest chamber in the world. But it's not, yeah, but it's a cave. It's like not a small chamber. And I think one notable feature of it is that there is a great well in the middle of it.
Excellent, excellent.
And from this angle, I don't think you can see what lies at the bottom of the well.
Well, I'm currently not actually interested in that, but I am about to be, probably, depending on how this roll goes, because when I unveil my senses, yes, finally a success! I can also exert myself mentally, and what I can tell you is, I am looking for a way out. Where should I start?
Great question. Judd, what do you think?
So I was trying to get an idea of the overall situation. Morgan is still up there, right?
Absolutely. We should shift back to the action.
Yeah. So
Strash is 2 levels down.
Yep.
Like there's ground level, there's the sewers,
right,
where the thieves are, and then there's like the undercity, or like whatever the fuck we want to call it, where like all the weird cult bullshit is, and that is where the necromancer has dropped.
Yeah, I mean, I think the necromancer can, with necromantic vision, can see the pathway out of here. I think it leads away from the well, clearly.
Yeah, like probably just like back up the tunnel.
As a point of note, I can see, even though it's specifically sight, I can see as if a buzz. It like Vincent describes all the magic in sight with sound. Like there's definite synesthetic qualities to it, but I can perceive magic, things that are hidden, things that are intentionally like sealed or invisible, and things like that. So it is possible that the well emanates something if you folks would care to have it do so. But if I can see a path out, that's my goal.
You can definitely see Gurn.
Yes.
He's scowling and looks very unimpressed with how this has gone.
Don't glare at me. You're the one that taught me the spell.
Yeah,
is that well where the dragon's bones were interred?
Of course it is.
Yeah, Judd, or like where the dragon burrowed down to go to sleep in the ocean, or like there's definitely something to do with that well, you know? Like,
yeah.
I think maybe here's what I'll lead with. I think the chamber is filled with the ghost of past flooding. So like once the well was like full, not just full, but like overflowed, and the chamber was like 3.5 feet deep in water. And I think you can see the ghost of that water, ? Like the memory of when that flooding was there.
Oh, it can be the strange echoes and plasmic impressions
Yeah, it's like
left by like
some fucking
dead
it's
fish
some
and
Dustfall
stuff
Ghost
that
Field. It's some Dustfall Ghost Field shit, you know? Like,
yeah.
There's the ghost of an ocean, and like just go with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want volunteers to
move down there too.
I do not have a spell for this, but I would like my volunteers to put it in their minds just to think about whether the bones of dragons are useful to necromancers for anything. And if the answer is no,
Yes.
there's a cool path out of here.
Of course,
I don't actually have any spells that deal with bones at all, which is odd.
That's not strictly speaking true. One of the requirements for not the stilling room, the other one, the charnel hall, is other. Right? Quantities of oil of asander, resin of eofray, dust of green jasmonite, and others.
Oh, so what you're saying is that this may supersede my other requirements because it is
That
magically
might
super
be
potent?
part of others. I don't know. Like,
Oh.
John and I will sit with it.
All right.
But yeah,
Cool.
Dragonbone does something. Like, let's be real.
We should switch and see how things are. I'm sorry that I abandoned you, Lauren. That was not the plan. I rolled badly. Let's.
The dice go.
Yeah, let's rock.
Yeah, so how are things with the abandoned Morgan?
Well, so I'm assuming what I saw is the ground go out, and then my necromancer friend plummet into darkness, and then nothing else. Or
no, so like my understanding is that like the plummeting happens while insubstantial. So like you saw an invisible cape engulf the necromancer, and he disappeared, and then like that's it. That's all she wrote.
Ah, I see. Cool. And like the state of the room, like I guess what's my current state of the room? Like, what does it look like?
I think you can hear splintering, and if you have like 5 seconds before the floor collapses.
Sweet.
In which time to not be on the floor anymore. Or on something that is standing on the floor. Like being on a bed wouldn't help.
I know I mentioned rope in the previous session just to tie my friends and I to each other when we were like ascending that invisible staircase. Would it be feasible to say there's rope around where I can 5 second try and like tie a knot to secure myself to something? Or I guess if everything's going down, it's not the best idea.
Yeah. You could maybe try and leap and defy to fall.
Jumping out a window, hitting the streets, doing a burst of
going
speed,
out into the corridor. Because like to be
parkour
clear,
on
like,
rooftops.
Yeah, the thieves are not just like they're not just collapsing the entire house into the sewer. Like it's not that indiscriminate. It's like this room's floor is gonna go.
Oh,
like if you can get through the doorway to the corridor, I think you'll be fine. If you can get out of the street, you can be fine. The privy attached to this chamber, then maybe, like, who knows
Excellent.
What the state of that foundation is, but
then if like my friend has just like disappeared,
with
then I
most
would
of the
have
money.
gone. I think Morgan just try and acrobat towards like the corridor again, to at least escape this immediate trouble. Which I
even
think
on some beds and shit.
Yeah, the floor is lava, kind of like jumping up stuff.
What is your
grabbing
intended
tapestries?
Yeah, what's your intended course? Describe to me how you plan to get to the door.
Okay, cool.
I guess.
If it's clear that like this room is gonna drop, I think Morgan if there's some convenient tapestries, I think tries to make a run. I guess I have a hard time picturing what this room looks like.
It's a room in a tavern. Like it has a floor and it has a window. There's a small privy off it. It connects to a corridor. John, do you think it's a big room? Do you think it's a small room? What do we?
I mean, I think they didn't have much money left, right? So there was probably a little shitty room.
Oh yeah, if it's little and shitty, then corridor sounds like a safe place to run.
Yeah, and I think there's like 2 beds in it, pressed hard into the corners, and then there's like, this is the thing, right? It's a shitty room, so like really awkwardly in between the beds is where the like bedside cabinet has been placed, so that like getting into bed is not like you go up the side of your bed and then you hop in. It's like you get onto the end of your bed and you crawl up. because yeah, the space in between them is just like a chest of drawers.
Sweet. Yeah, I think I just leap from bed to thing to table to get like into the corridor. And we'll see what's on the other side.
Yeah.
Which I think that's just a
And John and I need to make a decision.
Yes.
What's that?
So we have to choose.
Rolling or not?
yeah. We have to choose: is this safe and easy enough? And there isn't a roll. Simply impossible, and so there isn't a roll because it just can't be done, or somewhere in the middle and there needs to be a roll.
I feel like the roll needs to be about: do you put some distance between yourself and these thieves who are coming after you?
Are you quick
Like
enough?
that. That's what's interesting, right? Like that's where the shit is.
Yeah, like can I?
Yeah. So in which case, I'm happy enough to say, like, if the course you have described is just to get into the corridor, I think that's safe and easy. I don't think you need to roll for that. It's what comes after that where the question mark comes in.
Yeah. I think
if you want to expand that course out and describe to us how you get out into the street, we can also talk about that. What is the atomic unit of this exertion? Is it a very small exertion to just get out of the room, or is it a very big exertion to get halfway down the street? How much do you want to go for here?
Morgan's plan is probably I guess my other question is how complicated is this building structure? Is it kind of there's a lot of rooms and things that are confusing to navigate, or is it a pretty easy route to the exit? I'm assuming we would know that because we had to come in.
Yeah.
I didn't catch the. Go. Yeah, if you got it.
Sorry,
go.
yeah, but the question was how complicated is this building to navigate? Are there lots of doors? Is it easy to open a closet and go, oh crap, and then
yeah,
I have to find another way.
My feeling is it's probably not very complicated. I imagine that there is on one side of the building there is the big common room, and then there is a corridor, and then off the corridor on whichever the other direction is, there's just a bunch of tiny shitty rooms. And then somewhere there's some stairs and there's an upper story for fancy people, but that's irrelevant right now because you don't have any money.
Sweet.
Does that
Yeah.
No.
That's perfect.
Yeah, then I think well, I was toying with the idea of trying to disguise myself to get out without being recognized, but I think I just want to book it. Yeah, I think if it's reasonably okay to navigate, I think I want to leap out of this room and then just kind of parkour through the corridor, avoiding people.
Yeah, you hop over someone's frog hop over someone who's bent down to pick something up.
Totally, it's a maid cart or something that's tending to the rooms that one has to bound over, get caught in a sheet, or something. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do.
In that case, Judd, I don't know about you. I feel in that case, I think yes, it'll test your speed.
Yeah.
And you might, it might go a little wrong.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think you do have to roll.
Awesome. Cool. I will roll my dice. I think it should be with discipline, which is nimble and patience. Nimble's 3, patience is 1. So I better roll under a 4. See how this goes. Oh, just roll it over again.
So what happens on a miss?
So on a miss for Leap and Defy, I tell my volunteers either that I realize I won't be able to do it and I tell them what I do instead, or I tell my volunteers I have to risk it and choose one, but also choose one that I definitely can't do. So I think in volunteers, please feel free to interject here, but do like the idea of trying to make a sprint for like the exit, but that's when like the other sort of second crew of thieves like come in like the front
Yeah, for
entrance.
sure, right?
And then like just as Morgan like sees that group come in, she does like the oh shit and just like books it into the nearest door. And I think my mind is now on that disguise plan of like I just want to look like stuff, or like if I've gone into the room of like someone who lives there also put their clothes on or something to like sort of create some kind of disguise.
Yeah, so like just to be clear, you're sprinting down the corridor.
I'm like so close to getting out.
But you see that there's like some more folks coming like to guard the door, and you're like, uh-oh, abort this plan, and like duck to the side and then the thing you're going to try instead is to disguise yourself and kind of pass under the notice of these violent ruffians.
Yeah, if it's too cute to have like run into some kind of storage closet.
I mean, storage closet seems reasonable to me, Judd.
I mean, yeah, that's a possibility. I think the only thing you would know going in there is that there's no way out, right? You go into a storage closet and...
Yeah, this either works or it really doesn't.
And a question by volunteers is like, what kind of storage supplies are in here? Are there any other exits like to it, like an attic or anything? No. Those are my two questions.
Yeah, I'm with John. There's no other way out of this room. There's only one way in and out.
Cool. But what kind of storage supplies are in this closet?
Judd, what do you think? It's like, to my mind, here are the three obvious, right? It could be a linen closet. It could be a buttery where they keep all the alcohol.
Okay. Not the butter.
Look, medieval castle words were weird and came out of French. I don't understand them. Or it could be like a pantry full of, like salt fish and like, kitchen supply shit.
Yeah, I like salted fish and kitchen supply shit for some reason.
Nice.
Salted fish, salt from the salt flats.
Yes.
Quite possibly off the very same boat that you arrived here on.
Yeah, and I think you hear one of the folks hunting for you outside, like, tell the kitchen staff, all right, everyone stop. She might have tried to blend in. She's got a tattoo on her back of a southern feathered dragon. So everybody just show me a little shoulder. Nothing indecent. I've just got to make sure she's not doing the old, I'm a kitchen staff person, just walk by me thing. And you can hear them like checking for tattoos. Nope.
Interesting. I think Morgan definitely hisses under her breath, like, why couldn't it be a linen closet or something like that? Can we cut back to our necromancer?
Yeah.
See what's going on there.
Totally.
There is a spawning circumstance for if you're captured.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's something for the future. Awesome. So, okay. As we established, I find a road, right? Like I find a path. I think I'm going to
back up the tunnel.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow the path and see where it leads. Where does it lead, volunteers? I'm doing the wise thing. I am ignoring dragon bones because my friend's in trouble. But I will keep them in mind in case I need to trade them to a wizard later. But go on.
I imagine that, I feel like eventually the tunnel just leads back up into the sewers, right? Like,
that's fine.
The way of these, like, kind of, layers of archaeological time under cities is that, like, everything eventually connects to the next layer up.
So let me...
How close you are to the tavern, I think, is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Judd, how...
Yeah, I think you're probably like a couple city blocks away, Like, you probably come out quite a bit of ways.
And quite near the Thief Guild headquarters where the vault was, I suspect.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Or or rather, like underneath the Thief Vault headquarters, right in the sewers, from where there are plenty of manholes and grates. And,
yeah, I definitely think that
by which one could escape to the street.
I pop up to the street level
Yep.
or whatever, and I'm going to. I think I'm going to look for a place where I can stash the stash the booty, the loot that we have stolen safely, along with Chamberlain, who I will tell to guard it. And then I think I will try to backtrack back to where the thief is and see what I can do to help in case there is anything to be done.
Mm-hmm. What does stashing the loot look like? Like, is that you trying to like find a?
I think it doesn't look
to hide it in. Do you try and find like a door you can necromantically
if you
walk and place it behind? Like,
that sounds fine. It's something that I can. Well, actually, I'm exhausted, so I shouldn't be exerting myself.
That's true.
So that's the wise decision that I would have taken if I had rolled well. But I think what happens is I look for a place to put it that no one's gonna look till morning. So like amid some hay bales above some like horses in a stable kind of thing, right? Like I'm not looking for anything terribly dramatic. It's just the kind of place that I can duck in like in a montage. If I need to exert myself mentally to look around, I can do that. But like I'm not necessarily going too far. If I do happen to find something with a door that I can close, I know that I'm already exhausted, but I absolutely would push myself a little bit just to see if I can get it to go.
Judd, obviously...
Is there like a storm cellar or an outhouse?
Yeah, I mean, like, my instinct is like you've come up close enough to the Thieves Guild headquarters that if you just mundanely hide this, like there is no safe place to mundanely hide this.
Sure.
Right, like because there's fucking thieves. Like there's fucking thieves everywhere.
I believe it.
And yeah, like I think there are plenty of places with locks, like coal cellars and that kind of shit that like you could hide it in. I think the real question of note here is like, do you want to take that risk?
Well, thieves don't have necromancers. So I think I will just I'll just find something like a cellar sounds fine. I will find a place to stash this for the moment, and if people are confused why they can't open the door, it's fine. I can ask my volunteers at any time if somebody's tinkering with my lock, but so let's do that. If you say that I can find a cellar, no problem. That's what I'm gonna do.
It's a city, like.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna roll. Let's see how it goes. Boop. Gosh darn it! I think I've rolled like one success tonight. That's fine. Well, let's see what happens. On a miss, the lock defies you. Well, that makes sense. I'm exhausted. If you aren't satisfied with the results of your roll, I am not. Ask your volunteers whether Gurn can help me and abide by your answer. I think I try to do the spell and it's just the lock defies me. And I look at Gurn and I'm just like...
No, hang on a minute, Strash. You're looking at the one for if you would like to break a necromantic lock.
Oh, am I? Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Set a necromantic lock, yada, yada, yada. On a miss, tell your volunteers that you've set the lock, but it's both powerless and attractive to ghosts and plasmids.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's the second half of the spell. It's when I'm trying to break one. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
A powerless ghost attracting lock has been successfully placed. Great job. We'll keep that in mind.
I'm sure
Excellent.
Yeah, nothing bad will happen.
Well, it's gonna be a spooky ass alley, and that's just gonna have to be good enough for the next 15 minutes. I think I look at the lock and just, well, I've said it. I maybe I don't know that it's powerless.
Yeah, the wording here implies to me that the necromancer is not a...
I love it. Let's rock. I'm a backtrack and go see if I can help my thief friend.
Yeah, I think Gurn said something like that looks good, and like you're just too exhausted to tell it it's sarcastic.
Shut up, Gurn.
Yeah, like even if it were good, Gurn would still have said that just as sarcastically, so it's impossible to tell.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So,
like, cut away to like somewhere higher up in the city, like a wizened hand like writing in a spell book, just like record scratch like pauses mid sentence. As a wizard's plasmic like familiar alerts them that some strange act of magery has been performed. In the
if by alerts them you mean takes off.
All right. So back with the thief.
I think the closet door opens and the head thief in charge, with a knife in each of her hands, and a dragon tattooed across her chest, says, "Cousin, why are you in the fish closet?"
I would like to add to this. I think Morgan's if Morgan can kind of hear some muffled like look over the dragon tattoo kind of stuff. This person catches her stooped down on the floor very inelegantly with like that with a match, sort of like set to strike it as if she was gonna just burn down or start a fire or something to like create some chaos. So I think that's Morgan's position. Is
right.
She looks up at like this person calling her cousin.
What are you doing? Gonna start a fire?
I think Morgan chuckles awkwardly and like sort of quickly puts the two away. It's just like, well, you know, when you're in a bit of a pickle, fire is always a good way to get you out of a spot. I thought you knew that, cousin.
Well, you know, we would have come and talked to you in a much more humane way and not just blown the floor out under you. But you Southerners, we just don't know how that's going to go.
Very fair. I had to know my family myself.
Come on, let's talk. This is ridiculous. I'm sick of running after you.
You've been running after me.
I had to climb that room and get through the door and run along the hallway and make sure you didn't get out and run around the building. I mean, you were just going where you had to go. I had to go everywhere to make sure you didn't go anywhere. It's a lot of running. You know, you've hunted people before. Why is this? Come on. Let's go back to the chapter house. Have a drink and talk about what you can do for the Northern family.
I think Morgan reflects upon all the money that she let go, like just through the fact that she has nothing on her right now. No leverage, no bribes, no nothing. And I think, yeah, like scratches her forehead and just like, fine.
Hey, weren't you here with somebody?
No.
Some pasty guy who talked to himself, I'm pretty sure. The kids mentioned him.
You know, kids. And I think Morgan like tries to just like casually bluff with like, oh yeah, like they were on like the ship that I came in on, but we parted ways. Very weird if you ask me.
Did she buy that?
Is there a move for that?
Lying? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think. There is a common grace one that might work.
If there isn't one, you just say, "This is what I say." How do they react? You can also throw yourself to circumstance and see. Yeah. But if you want, we can actually cut here and we can jump to a new spawning circumstance, which is the thief's been seized by a master of the city, in this case, a nefarious thiefy master of the city, and is in a keeping house awaiting impressment into a gang. So it could be that. It could be.
That makes total sense. Yeah.
I mean, it's probably, like, I'm just looking at the time. It's probably like time to wrap up for today. But like,
yeah,
that seems like a pretty good. Yeah, that seems like a good opening for next time.
You read my mind. I was like, that's a great opening for next time.
Well, let's take the time to, begin play with the Necromancer's efforts to restore the thief to liberty. So I think, let me ask two questions before we wrap. The first question is, obviously by the time I get there, the thief and this thiefy gang are gone. Is that correct?
several city blocks. You said, Judd.
Yeah.
It's.
gone.
I'm expecting it.
Yes.
I'm not pushing one way or another. I'm just. So in which case, in order for me to actually be able to do anything, I have to rest. So I think I actually returned back to my closet full of ghosts, and that's probably where I spend the night. So. I don't know how comfortable it is sleeping with a bird on a sack full of coin or whatever it is we stole. But
I think even less comfortable when you are awoken by a wizard.
Okay.
Who has come to investigate.
Actually, that's curious. What kind of wizard is this?
Let me just really quickly grab a copy of the Barbarian's Bloody Quest.
While looking that up, I will amend what Morgan says to like this family member. I think she does say like, yeah, they were a friend of mine, but the fucker like took off when shit got too real, and
that's how they do.
This old play. Yeah, Judd, as far as this wizard goes, do we want to go with like the obvious pick, which is we had talked about like weather predicting wizards in this city?
Sure.
Like, do we want to go there?
Yeah. Let's go for that.
Yeah. So this is Vint Duval of the Placid Sky.
Cool.
I'm just going to make a note of that so we don't forget.
It's going to be the first question next week, I'm sure. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just have a pleasant conversation. They'll go away.
Yeah, right. Or maybe, we just speed on by that and we don't do it as a spawning circumstance.
Sounds good. Start there next week.
I think
so.
Yeah, I think like the image we leave on is like the necromancer like sleeping restlessly in this like
the door pops open. Wizard's
No, it doesn't pop open. I think we hear the sound of like the door like rattle slightly in the wind. And then there is like the very faint whistling noise of a breeze moving through a keyhole. And then there is a wizard inside the room, and the door is still closed. And I think that is perhaps where we leave it.
Well, if we do the spawning circumstance where I'm trying to rescue the thief, it means that this situation must resolve one way or another. So we'll figure it out then. Hopefully we meet like the one wizard on the planet that is not the worst person in the world, but we'll see.
Asshole? Yeah.
We'll see. We might then be robbing a wizard of their magic books, and also.
We could always invent our own spawning circumstances. Like, tell your volunteers that both of you have been deprived of your liberty and are separately making attempts.
No, I like the idea that we rejoin forces. The two of us together are also. I do not want to leave my friend captured by evil thieves. That is our pact, our friendship pact. So we'll see. Cool, awesome. I guess we leave it there and we just pick it up in 2 weeks. This feels like a good place to stop. So
awesome. I
guess this is where we do outros. So hey folks. Thank you for hanging out with us for another episode of The Thief and the Necromancer. I still do not have a property of my own to build my necromantic sanctum upon, but I'll get there someday. But I've been Strash. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at StrashA. I guess I should plug tomorrow morning. We'll be playing Scum and Villainy Persephone, which is heading into its last chapter, so that's interesting because when you play long enough, you get in good enough with certain groups, and then there's this like whole endgame bit. So I'm actually excited. There's apparently going to be void lightsaber duels and escapes from like guilds of starsmiths and engineers and nonsense. So if you like space opera, that's the thing to maybe check out. And also, all of our episodes get exported to YouTube, usually within about a week or so. So if you want to catch up on old episodes, that's also an option, although you can just watch them. We don't have them locked, so you can just watch them right after broadcast. So that's all I got. Luke, you should take it away with outros.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luke, and will continue to be Luke. My pronouns are they, them. You can find games that I have written at gamesfromthewildwood.itch.io. They are spooky, sad, sincere, and often quite specific. Also, if you would like to check out the actual play adventures of a queer fairy circus wandering about and having emotional feelings, you should check out my podcast, Feelings First _ Judd.
Yeah, my name is Judd, he, him, and I've got a podcast called Daydreaming About Dragons, where I talk about gaming stuff and stuff you see here. And I have a sudden urge to use my Audible credits to pick up Brother Cadfael novels. I don't know what's going on.
Yes. Also, the Sandman audiobook is pretty fucking great.
Oh, nice.
I've been listening to that and like...
Nice. And that's it for me. Lauren, where are you at?
I've been Lauren Ayushi Day. I'm at The Stray Kiwi on Twitter and TheStrayKiwi.com. If you want to know more about my tabletop editing and games that I've written, I would like to quickly plug The Hidden Lives of Trees, which was written by Luke Jordan, which I played last week, and it was amazing. I was pleasantly surprised, but also not surprised at how much I gave so many craps about this tree that like I was trying to protect and see survive through the many decades that we lived through.
The secret is if you tell people that their tree can't talk or walk, they will invest in it emotionally anyway.
Yes. Very, very good game. What else? Oh yeah, tomorrow I'll be playing Dipper, who is a robot with like many hearts and is ancient and old, and their parent like came by to say hi. I think we'll probably see their parent again. Or I don't know. I don't know what's happening tomorrow, but I'm very excited for it. I'll leave it to Josh for a smooth outro.
Oh, we're all done. So I guess that's it for this game. See you folks in 2 weeks or tomorrow morning if you're watching some Scum and Villainy. And with that, smooth outro.